Welcome back to Geek Leak. I'm your host, Brandon Conn. This is On Brand with Brandon Conn. We start off today with talking about Marvel's Moon Knight movie, set to release exclusively on Disney Plus March 30th. For those of you unfamiliar with Moon Knight is basically Marvel's Batman. If Batman had multiple personality disorder and really had no qualms about killing people. He has gadgets, including throwing stars, similar to Batman's batarangs. Moonerangs? Eh. And instead of having a British butler, he has a French butler that he calls Frenchie. Moon Knight is dark, but has glimpses of humor with the mercenary lifestyle, so let's take a brief look at the trailer, and I hope that I don't get a copyright strike.
I'm losing it.
Real catch you are. You're bloody useless, Stevie.
Stephen. I can't tell the difference between life and dreams.
Thank you.
Lost the contact lens.
Hope you find it.
Thanks.
So, what? He's Brendan Fraser in The Mummy mixed with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker? And since when is Moon Knight British? Frankly, I think Disney is missing the mark on this one. The visuals look pretty damn good, but this is a shadow of what Moon Knight has ever been in Marvel. Maybe in a couple weeks when it releases, I'll be eating my words, but for now, I'm going to say that, at best, this is going to be a one-off, generic action movie. In the world of print for Marvel, Marvel has opted to go ahead and change the design for an indigenous character in the miniseries King Conan. The character in question is Princess Matawaka, stranded on an island with the main protagonist. It's not only her overly sexualized design. Holy shit. She looks like a Rule 34 crossover between Slave Leia and that chick from Road to El Dorado. For those of you who didn't go to masturbate, the huge problem indigenous people have with her is also who Princess Matawaka represents as a character. The story goes that she ended up falling in love with a man who tried to colonize her people. When he tried to wreck up her home, she killed his ass. But her father still exiled her to the island that the reader first finds her on, and is now cursed to lure other would-be colonizers away from her land, like some savage siren leading imperial pioneers to their sexy, sexy doom. Before anyone brings it up, I'm not dumb. Of course I know that comics infamously drew and draw female characters in an over-sexualized manner, boob windows and all. That is not the real issue. The real issue is that Matawaka was what Pocahontas was privately referred to. And despite what Disney taught you, low-key, Colors of the Wind is my jam. Pocahontas was not in love with John Smith. Nor was she even 16. She was 11 or 12. Pocahontas was kidnapped and made into a child bride. Yay, colonialism! So back to Princess Matawaka. Granted, they changed it up and made her kill the colonializer. One should understand that it still props up a false narrative that doesn't go challenged enough. Speaking of depictions of races, Wizard of the Coast has released playtest material for Dragonlance world setting content for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, in which they have tried to address what some call problematic stereotypes of kender. If you haven't read Dragonlance, Dragonlance is a series of fantasy books, a majority of it written by authors Margaret Weiss, and Tracy Hickman. Kender are more or less halflings, with less hair on their toes, and much more of a kleptomaniac traveler culture. A fair comparison would be to say, Lord of the Rings hobbits are the chill stoners with the constant munchies. Whereas Kender are the sketchy-ass Oogle friends who you take a subtle mini inventory of your N64 games before letting them leave your apartment. In the playtest material, they're trying to do away with the klepto quirk and just say they have a magical phenomenon in their pouches and they can just pull random items out of it. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. And this is an effort to try and prevent players from playing up that thieving quirk, that stealing from one another, and a couple things wrong with that. One, whether someone is playing a human, elf, gnome, or Goliath, taking classes in Rogue, they're going to either be the edgelord assassin or the kleptomaniac. Giving them a magic unexplained hidey hole isn't going to change that. And two, a magical phenomenon in their bag. If you saw someone pulling out non sequitur items from their bag that you didn't remember them having acquired before, your first instinct would be to ask, "Hey man, did you steal that?" "Oh no, it's a magical phenomenon. Phenomenon. However naive and arguably half-assed, I applaud Wizards of the Coast attempting to do away with negative stereotypes in D&D. Now maybe they will tackle the harassment race, the traditionally bardy race who make players uncomfortable by hitting on everything that moves and insisting that the Dungeon Master roleplay sex for them. Now we are going to tune into our anime and manga sub-segment of On Brand, known as We've Wound Up a Woo! Yes, we shall hurry. I think that's what they said. Haiku? I don't know. Toei Animation recently had some of their internal systems shut down by a hacking incident that involved a third party attempting to access their online store. 4 animes in particular will be experiencing delayed releases of their episodes, including Dragon Quest: The Adventures of Dai, One Piece, Digimon Ghost Game, and Delicious Party: Pretty Cure. Instead of seeing the new episodes, Toei Animation has been quoted as saying, "Dude, just watch an earlier episode of One Piece. There are literally over 900 of them. You can't possibly remember any past episode 200. On the note of One Piece, Netflix began production of their live-action rendition of the show last month. I think I'll be the first to say that, regardless of the quality of the show, very few who have been casted will be flattered by the source material. Oh, you're perfect for the role. You look exactly like a bloated crackhead clown. No, Ma, I finally hit the big time. I play a gray-skinned guy with a bad dragon dildo for a nose. Why do I know about bad dragon dildos, Ma? I learned it from you. I learned it from you, Ma! Anyway, now we are going to our tech and gaming segment. Connection. Seems that Xbox One is showing its age, given that one of the top stories in the gaming world is how awful it has been to play Dark Souls Breath of the Wild, or Elden Ring, on it, as many insist on calling it. Articles have panned the console for its visual problems, many saying it can't meet the 60 frames per second threshold, to its performance issues, with loading screens taking as long as 29 seconds, and I feel I speak for most gamers who grew up playing a PlayStation 1 where you sometimes had to change out the disc in order to complete the game, when I say my back hurts. I haven't been able to sleep through the whole night without getting up to urinate in years.
You're old. You're old.
Perhaps the problems plaguing the new games is why Xbox One just released the Ninja Turtles collection, a collection of vintage Ninja Turtle games with online play for certain games and, unlike the old games, a save anytime and rewind function. Maybe Xbox can rewind to a time that it was an innovative console and not just a system to hear 13-year-olds call you racial slurs while playing the latest repackaged first-person shooter. You burnt, Xbox. You burnt. Square Enix has announced their new game, the Diofield Chronicle, a strategy tactics game. From the looks of the gameplay, I would say that it looks like a mix of Final Fantasy and XCOM. The release date has not been determined as of yet, other than 2022, but the graphics look phenomenal, and, like XCOM, I look forward to having an immense list of soldiers who died thanks to my terrible gaming skills. That's it for Geek Leak this week. Be sure to like and subscribe across the different platforms we will be utilizing to post content. Also, as I do other crafts hobbies relating to the different fandoms, pop in and have a listen, and hear such gems as... But then again, I've heard of people going virals on the internets just from randomly talking to people, just being themselves. But, you know, I guess that's kind of counterintuitive for me, because that makes it seem like I have the power of personality, and... Well, yeah, I don't really have that either. So, this is just kind of one of those, how do you put it? An exercise in futility. That's what it is. Yeah, as you can tell, I really don't know much about what I'm doing with that stuff, but, I'm Brandon Conn, and this mess is poggers!